What if I told you that your mind was very successful at creating what you didn't want, and that that same mind can be successful in creating what you do want? If you don't like the way your life is going, especially in your love life, which is what we're going to talk about today, change your thoughts. That comes from Lester Levinson. He started the Sedona method, which is all about releasing. In this work that I do, I release, I rewrite, and receive. This is my tagline for my work that I do. And we're going to talk about releasing. So if this is triggering you and saying, wow, how could I create what I didn't want? Then this message and this video is for you. If you don't know me, my name's Deborah. I'm a transformational healer and intuitive coach, and I guide people on helping them to start thinking more of what they want and being successful at creating what we want. Now, our mind is like AI. Whatever we put into it, the way we program it is exactly what we're going to experience. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to guide you into a mini visualization. So whatever those thoughts and feelings that came up that you felt triggered by, how could this happen in my love life? How could this be that what I didn't want actually showed up? And this is where a lot of my clients, they get kind of mad at me because I say, you did create it. And people don't want to take accountability or responsibility. But once you see it, once you start to release and you see that you are creating with the mind at all times, then you can't unsee it. Then you become aware. And awareness is very powerful because what you're doing is you're taking a step back, being in the beingness that you are, which is everything that you want. The beingness that you are, the universe inside of you already has perfect love, perfect health, perfect wealth. You're just taking a step back and you're looking at your mind and you're seeing the thoughts that are running the show, and they're repetitive and they're subconscious. A lot of them are very subconscious that we've tucked away. How have we tucked them away? It's because we've had experiences in our life since birth where we've developed concepts and limiting beliefs about ourselves. Now, not every thought and feeling is limited, but we have created separation because as we grow up, we see, oh, I'm male or female. My name is this name. So, and then we have parents who are, or guardians that are reinforcing these belief systems and these concepts. And that's how life is, right? So when you start to release, it's so exciting because you can rewrite the script of your life. You can completely change. And by investigating those subconscious thoughts that are running the show, and what are those subconscious thoughts? And we'll talk about this in relationships. What are you thinking about yourself? What are you believing about yourself? Are you feeling unworthy? Are you feeling not chosen? Are you feeling not good enough, not lovable? And where does that come from? And here's the trick. You don't want to hold on to stories. Stories can be taken in psychology and in other forms of healing where we hold on for dear life to those stories. And releasing is about releasing those stories. And what is releasing? It's letting go of identification of the thoughts and feelings that we are believing about ourselves. And this is very deep, and I may not go as deep in this video, but basically what you're doing is you're looking at the belief systems and the identification of this small ego, this body mind, and you're not poo-pooing it. You're welcoming it. And how are you welcoming? You're welcoming from the beingness that you are. You're welcoming these thoughts and feelings that you've identified with for lifetimes, more than just this lifetime. And so you start to look at, oh, wow. So in my relationship department, I've been having this ongoing repetitive thought that, oh, men don't choose me, or women don't choose me, or I just don't feel good enough or lovable or something's wrong with me. Whatever it is, that is what's running the show. And we wonder, why am I repeating the same pattern? I keep choosing the same kind of person. Or, and this is all coming from a lot of times from childhood wounds. In my case, it was. But this is the trick, is that you can identify those stories. Oh, wow, I didn't feel seen by my dad. He wasn't emotionally available. But you don't have to hold on to that. That's where the releasing comes in. You see it, And you go, that's why I responded the way I did. I can release that now. I can let that go because that's not something I want to keep carrying around and then dumping it into my relationships. And so, going back to the mind being very successful at creating what we don't want, let's turn it around and make it successful in creating what we do want. So, if you don't like your life, change your thoughts. So, let's go into a little visualization. Close your eyes if you'd like, you don't have to. But what is it in your love life that you are starting to feel about yourself, about maybe the person you're with now or the person you used to be with? Are you feeling heartbroken? Are you feeling betrayed? Are you feeling whatever it is? I want you to look at those thoughts and feel the feelings. Where are they in the body? What are you feeling in the body? The sensation, because thoughts are sounds, images, and sensations. And the mind loves images to visualize what it is that you want. You want something to be different. A lot of times we're coming from a sense of lack, always wanting something to be different. So use that constructively instead of just letting these thoughts loop of it didn't work out, it just doesn't work out for me, and being in apathy. So if you are wanting a relationship, but let's say you had a few unsuccessful relationships, you can have a lot of doubts. The doubts come up. How do they come up? They say, well, it hasn't happened yet, or it never did, therefore it may not. So you're programming your mind to believe this. So let's change those beliefs and start thinking of what you want and see the possibility. Because when you are releasing, and I say this in other videos, it's so important that when you are going into the beingness that you are, which is the perfect peace, the perfect love, the beingness that is running your body mind, the energy that's running your body mind. When you're in that beingness, once you start to release, you start to see that there's no way and no room to hold on to any feelings of low self-worth, not feeling good enough, whatever it is, low self-esteem, because it's impossible, because that's where you stop identifying with this little ego, this body mind that has all these thoughts and feelings and, oh my God, trying to control everything, wanting approval. The three words: control, approval, security, always looking for that on the outside. It's almost like we're programmed to, as a human, to look on the outside because that's how I call it setup is, that has been created. It's delusion. It's not real. It seems real, but it's a dream. It's a movie. So our mind is a projector of the movie at all moments, at all times. So let's program it differently. If you don't like what's going on out there, change it. So what has been triggered when I said that you have created things that you don't want in your life very successfully? What are those thoughts? Write those thoughts down. Write your intention first. What is it that you want? And I do this with my clients. Allow yourself to have it. I allow myself to have the perfect partner. I allow myself to be financially independent. I allow. When you say I allow, it's coming from your soul. It's not saying, I want this. Of course you want it, but you're letting go of the wanting and you're allowing it to come in. That's where you're coming from, beingness. And that's where the power is. And so then when you start to see the limiting beliefs, oh, why am I holding on to this limiting belief? I don't feel worthy. So you can look back and say, oh, I felt that way when I was growing up. And then maybe I had this other relationship where they kind of breadcrumb me. And it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's not from childhood. Sometimes you just get bamboozled by someone. And it's, again, it's not being a victim, but it's just your thinking. You may have been holding on to a vision with this person and not really looking at how they were behaving. You were focused more on the vision, which is nothing wrong with that. It's just that you weren't really seeing the reality of what was happening in the moment. And so when you start to become aware of that, then you can use that drive, that will that you had to manifest that vision and put it into a situation that is more in alignment with you, right? So a partnership, and I've seen people who have done this, and it's not because they've had a terrible childhood and because they've been neglected or emotionally having neglectful parents. No, not at all. It's just it's a shifting their thinking, shifting from one way to another and then getting different results. So, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, getting the same result. So, now you can change that. And the way to do it, set the intention. I allow myself to have the perfect partner. And then while you are visualizing what would that be like, start thinking like a child. Think of what you really want. It opens your heart. It changes your frequency. You're writing what you want. And then underneath that statement, you write it on a piece of paper. You start to say, what's in the way for me to have this beautiful relationship? And what's going to come up? What are doubts? Doubts are fears. They're all fears. Well, it didn't happen before, therefore it may not happen again. Oh, I said that and I screwed up the relationship. I'm doomed forever. Whatever those thoughts are, just sounds, images, sensations. Just look at them and go, do I really need to hold on to these? No. So how do you release these? Release the identification. Just see them as sounds, images, sensations, and just go, I'm going to let this go. And even if they come up again, just see them as clouds passing by and you go, don't pay attention. I have a friend who releases with me. We're kind of a ride or die releaser friends. And she always says to me, don't believe it. So whenever you have those nagging thoughts that like to come back, just say, don't believe it. Tell yourself, don't believe it. And start believing what you want. And to see in your mind, if you have to sit down and visualize every day, do it. Visualize, train that subconscious mind to give you what you deserve and what you is your divine birthright for everyone. And that may be triggering too. You may be like, that person, no. All of those judgments, those projections onto these people, projections onto yourself are what you need to release. And your whole energy body will shift. Everything will flow. Everything will go back into harmony, peace, physically, emotionally, everything. And you can have fun with this because after you start releasing, then you're rewriting the script at the same time. And that's when people are going through heartbreak and betrayal or just feeling like the whole rug just got pulled underneath them. This part is the fun part, writing a new script, writing the way you want it to be. Because guess what? You were creating that the way what you didn't want before. Now you're going to start creating what you do want. And let me tell you, if you're in separation from someone and you still want to work this out with them, all you need to do is release. Don't try to control anything on the outside. Easier said than done. But don't try to control anything on the outside, and you will start writing a new script, releasing all of the judgments, all of the putting them in a box, putting yourself in a box. And one way to put anyone in a box is to say, oh, I'm an anxious attachment. They're a dismissive avoidant. All of that is helpful to see the dynamic, but it's not really going to get you very far because it's still very unloving to put people in boxes because then you're not allowing them to change, to grow. And so when you start to release these, which is very loving, by the way, you're opening to the universal love that's flowing through. And then you start to see changes. And that person that you are in separation with could absolutely show up differently. And it's not a guarantee, but I'm telling you, this is where a lot of people drop off. When I'm working with them, they go, well, I can change, I can release, but they're the same. They're not going to change. Oh, no. Why are they going to change? The good possibility, because we're all one. They are a version of you. They're reflecting back everything you need to release. It's a bitter pill to swallow at first, but then you get excited. You're like, all right, cool. Instead of resisting what they are sharing with you and how painful it can be, their behavior, you get excited. You look at it as a challenge. All right, cool. I'm going to start releasing this change because this is definitely not what I want. And so that's the magic that happens. Then you're writing the script and you start to see everything shift and people will shift. Everyone around you, you'll change. It's magical. And then the last part is receive. What are you receiving? You're just basking in the beingness that you are, and you're freer from the limiting beliefs that you have about yourself, about others, about the world. Your experiences can totally be different than what the rhythm of the world is doing, right? Another example is I just was talking to a friend who said, Some people will say, oh, the economy is terrible and they have no money. And then the other group are saying, oh my God, I'm making so much money. It's amazing. It's what are you thinking? What are you projecting? And that's going to be your experience. So I could go on and on about this because you could sit there and talk about what's going on in the world, and that's going to be your experience. If you don't like it, it's going to be unpleasant. If you want to change it, change your thinking, change your mind, and everything out there will change. And this video is for your love life, but you can apply this for anything that you want: more, better health, better wealth, better love. Because the cosmic joke, and I'll leave you with this, is that we already have what we want. When we want something, we think we're separate from it and we think that we can't have it. But the cosmic joke is that we already do. And so all we need to do is just allow it to be so. And a lot of times when we do, there's a lot of doubts that come up, and that's what you're releasing. So I hope this video helps you. And if you, I hope you like and subscribe and join my community. I have lots of goodies. It's in the description in this video. And I look forward to having you join